Okay, so when beginning the Islam reading, things to know, right? So Muhammad lived in the 7th century of the Common Era in the Arabian Peninsula in what is now Saudi Arabia, and he knew uh, lots of Jews and some Christians. So he lived near Mecca. Now, he lived in Mecca for a long time. Get into that later. Um, which was a huge pilgrimage site. And, Saudi Arabia was just a desert, right? Absolute desert. So there were certain spots that had water and that were extremely important trading sites. And so Mecca and Medina, particularly Medina, were both among them. So he knew tons of Jews and Christians. So when you go into the reading, you will see that a lot of these stories look familiar, but are changed in the Quran. So what Muhammad says is that Jews and Christians are both quote people of the book, right? So they're monotheists, or and they've got it, they're on the right track. But sometimes the scripture gets mangled because it's in the hands of man. Whereas the Quran, of course, hardcore believers believe that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible and they came straight from God, right? This is not historically true, but believers believe that. Um, but Muhammad dictates the entire Quran himself. And so it does not have, right, the Hebrew scriptures start in 1000 BCE and they end in 165 BCE in terms of being written. So there are hundreds of little pause in there, right? Christian scriptures start in about 70 of the Common Era and do not get codified until 375 of the Common Era. So, you've got 300 years of people, debating and writing and reading different things. And there's a huge debate about what's going to become the New Testament. And but the Quran is all written in one lifetime, and it is remarkably consistent in ways that certainly the Hebrew scriptures are not. So Muhammad says that the previous scriptures got corrupted by human interference, whereas the Quran is understood just to go straight from, Allah to, out of Muhammad's mouth down on paper. Wouldn't have been paper, but you know what I mean. So, yes, so there's a real relationship between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And you will see that I personally think that Islam is much closer to Judaism than it is Christianity. They like Jesus. Um, they like Mary, right? But Jesus gets downscaled. He's just a prophet, right? He's not a Messiah. All the prophets are awesome. They dig Abraham a lot. Um, they dig Moses, blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. But everyone gets sort of dropped down a peg. So that's the relationship, in very tiny terms, between those three texts going into your reading this week.